Hey guys, welcome back to Mo's Game Table. Today we're going to take a look inside of something a little different. Hammerfall, World War III Battles from Team Yankee. It is a 1:100 scale miniatures game, and it is set in a hypothetical World War III environment based on, or inspired by, maybe we should say, the Team Yankee book from Harold Coyle. And really been curious about this game. I don't get a lot of opportunity to play miniatures games. It's something I wanted to get back into. Take a look inside the box and see what you get. All right, so got a lot of plastic, and I think, nope, still got some stuff in there. I think that's it. So get some blue and red dice for the US and the Russians. This is upper bodies that are going to stand out of tanks. Get the rule book, some unit cards, some terrain, and the starter quick start rules. And then we have our plastic, and wow, that is really green. So let's take a closer look at all of them and see what we get. All right, so we'll take a look at the plastic first. First thing we got is we got 2 M1s and we've got 3 T64s. So we'll take a look at the M1 first. Detail out, it looks pretty good. It's a good sized vehicle. And if you do comparison in size with the T64, you can see it is definitely a much bigger vehicle, the M1 versus T64, when you look at the top part of the hull, which is what this is in there. And then we've got the back exhaust area, the bustle racks look to be in good detail. Skirts, everything looks pretty good here. And the same with the tracks. Tracks, you get to see the individual track pads pretty well, which is nice. And the road wheels and suspensions, sprockets, all that's modeled nicely, as well as the weapons, extra road wheel, hatches, and like jerry cans, other accessories that you can spice up the vehicle with. And then for the T64s, pretty much the same thing. Good detail on this. So you got your weapons, you got your hatches, you got your tracks. The tracks look good. And good detail. I mean, not great, not like a standard model would be, but for something that you're going to game with on the table, I think detail's pretty good. Here's a look at the data cards for each of the units in the game. With the M1 Abrams T64. T64, the main gun reaches out to 32 inches. The Songster missile goes out to 16 or 48 inches. And then you have a 12.7 millimeter anti-aircraft machine gun goes to 20 inches. And the 7.62 machine gun goes to 16 inches. Over here on the US side, you have the M1, you have the M60A 105 millimeter gun that goes out to 40 inches. So an 8-inch greater reach for the M1 over the T64 as expected. And then you have the 50 cal, which is equivalent to the 12.7, that goes out to 20 inches, and the 7.62 goes out to 16 inches, just like the 7.62 for the T64. Then you have identical movement order cards for each side, which gives you an explanation of how to do blitz move, follow me, shoot and scoot, cross here, and dig in. Then we have the terrain cards here that it's just a standard chipboard. You just punch them out, and these are good quality chipboard, it feels like. These are going to represent houses in the area of operations for these units that are fighting. And then you have ACE, and it looks like status markers, pins, bailed out, things like that you'll place on your units as they take damage or other effects. And here is the starter guide for the game. It says here, start here. And inside it'll explain to you how to assemble your vehicles and the data cards for each of those. How to set up your first game, a movement step, the shooting step, so you can basically just jump into a quick game with what you have and get a feel for the system, how to end the turn, starting your next step, and then your next missions, tank duel, tank ace. There's a couple different ones that the game comes with, just basic ones, and then it comes at the back with what's next in the products that you might want to get, like Bannon's Boys with the Stripes book, Red Thunder, and Yuri's Wolves for the Soviets, Iron Maiden, Leopard, and Volks Army for the Germans, as well as a URL for Team Yankee and Hammerfall. So you can kind of follow along there and learn some new things and get some updates from there. All right, we'll take a look now at the rulebook that comes with the game. This is the full rulebook, believe it or not. It's a good thick book. It's small, easy to carry with you. It is everything you'll need. I think it's missing like army lists or army information. It goes up to page 87. There's an index in the back. Everything's full color. It gives you a breakdown of the situation here in Cold War Europe at the time, and then you get into the contents of the game. Gives you a further breakdown as to what's going on. Here is the movements through Germany, from the Soviet Union into Germany. Kind of a cool little background to how the situation heats up, and then you get your Combat Team Yankee. It explains combat teams, how they are set up and organized. Here's the first day, the U.S. counterattack, the last battle of Tank 66. So this is all from the book Team Yankee. And then you get into playing on page 14, and it shows you all the cool drool-worthy pictures of all the minis that you can get with the game, and it explains to you how to set up teams, formations, how to read the data cards, which we saw that come with the game, all the different types that there are, turn sequence, how to use your commanders, terrain, movement orders, shooting, line of sight, how that all works, rotating for aircraft, infantry, and aiming points for artillery, smoke screens, and it looks pretty impressive when you see all the miniatures out on the table. It definitely, I don't know, you guys are like me, I'm sure you are, it makes you want to get out there and play and get a whole bunch of these good toys and play with them. Then it breaks down your force structure in the back, T-72 battalions, missions, how they work, placing ambushes, reserves, victory points, and different ways to play free-for-all, encounters, dust-ups, hasty attacks, no retreats, counterattacks. And then you have your army boxes, platoon boxes, and then we get to your index, all of the steps laid out for you here that you can refer to as you're playing. And that is a look at everything you get inside of Team Yankee Hammerfall, the starter kit for Team Yankee. It'll get you everything you need to just get going in the system if you've been curious about it. It's not a super expensive price point either. It's something you could pick up, test it out, see if you enjoy it. And like I said, if nothing else, you get some cool models that you can use with another system if you found this wasn't for you. But being that it's hypothetical World War III, that is totally my jam, so I have to check it out. I know I'm curious to see how these models go together, if they go together well as how the system plays. Is it fun or not? Because even though it looks really cool, I can suspend some belief when it comes to playing a miniatures game. I know you have to, but I'd also like to have a decent semblance of reality to it. Otherwise, I probably won't be as interested in it as I had hoped. That remains to be seen, but for now, you're curious about it, this is what you get inside. Hammerfall from Team Yankee from Battlefront Miniatures. If you have any comments or questions, post them down below. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.